Hi everyone, welcome back to Nick's Diecast. In today's video, I'll be unboxing and reviewing this Wilco toy truck and racer. I got this from a local flea market for $15, and I was surprised to find it. I had actually never heard of the Wilco gas station chain, nor have I ever seen or heard of the Wilco toy truck series. As you can see, this box is very reminiscent of a Hess toy truck box, and that's because the Wilco toy truck series was actually basically a copy of the Hess toy truck series. As you can see, it's in kind of the standard, reminiscent of Hess, I guess we'll say, box. There's the price sticker on there. It has a picture of the truck on the side, and then you have Wilco toy truck and racer on the top. And then you have kind of the same image on the back portion of the box. Picture of the back of the truck on this side flap, and then you have a picture of the front of the truck on this side flap here. So Wilco was a gas station chain. I think they were largely based in the Carolinas, and Speedway Gas ended up purchasing Hess along with Wilco in 2014, and then by 2017 all the Hess and Wilco gas stations would then be rebranded into Speedway gas stations. Of course, the Hess truck is still around. They still come out with a new Hess truck every year, but the Hess gas stations and the Wilco gas stations are no longer in existence. They are now all Speedway gas stations. But what Wilco did from, I want to say, the mid to late 1980s until around 2002 or 2003 is that they would release their own toy truck, but it would pretty much be a carbon copy of the Hess truck that was released in the previous year. And you can see as I pan around the box once more that this is very reminiscent of the 1992 Hess truck and racer, because it pretty much is the exact same thing. But Wilco released this in 1993. And I did forget to show the bottom of the box, but here's the bottom of the box where it demonstrates how you load the car in and out and how the batteries go into the truck. You can see in these different pictures here. And of course, I'll demonstrate all these features once I get the truck removed from the box. And that race car is actually a friction car instead of a pullback car. Both Wilco and Hess were doing friction cars more than they were doing the pullback cars prior to the 2000s. We'll go ahead and get this truck out of the box. So open it up from the side here. And then it should just pull right out. That's a cool looking truck right there. And it is mounted on a piece of cardboard, as you see right here. I think there's some more cardboard underneath. And it looks like we have the instruction sheet for how to remove the pull tab and the batteries from the racer. That was just sitting kind of loose in the box. I do really like the turquoise and white, I guess, paint scheme we'll call it, as opposed to the green and white paint scheme that we would see if this were the Hess version of the same truck. We'll see if there's some more cardboard inside that's holding the racer in place, because I believe there should be. There's the instructions for opening the back door. Oh, you turn that wheel. It doesn't click shut. You can actually lock it shut and unlock it shut with that crank back there. We'll get this off the base. Just a little extra piece of packing cardboard. That's a cool truck right there. Not sure what the exact scale is. Wilco and Hess didn't really do exact scales for their trucks, but it is plastic. It has the rubber tires on it. About 1/43-ish scale, maybe. I'm not really sure. It does have that additional support underneath the trailer. I really hope there's no batteries in here, because this is from 1993. And it looks like there's not, so that's good. Still has the stickers inside of it too that tells you which way to put the batteries in. Rolls nice and smooth. Very cool. I think the trailer might actually come off the cab. I haven't tried it out with any of my Hess trucks, but I think for at least some of them they can pull off, but I don't want to mess around with that. Let's open up this back door. You just turn this to the left to unlock it and then lift it up like so. Looks like the racer is held in place by its own piece of cardboard, like I predicted. So we'll pull that out. And it actually sits on this black ramp, which you just lower like this. Kind of stiff at first, but that shows you that this is pretty much a brand new toy. So that's really cool to see. And there's the racer. based off a Porsche 911 for sure. And there's the pull tab. And it looks like the switch is actually in the on setting. So I wonder now, if I were to pull this out, if the lights would actually go on. And they do. Wow. 1993 watch batteries still work right away when I pulled that tab. That is impressive. Wow. The stickers on the front and rear bumpers that say Wilco on them, they were a little bit loose, so I pulled them off later on and I put them back in place in like kind of their right spots. But wow, the fact that those lights still work. I guess they would work if the batteries were never used in spite of being 30 plus years old at this point. That is crazy. But then you put the ramp back in like that and then you can lock the door by turning the wheel to the right. But wow, that's really cool that this thing actually still lights up. There's the friction motor. And that's actually more of like a teal or like a turquoise instead of green for the various accents and stripes that you see on the truck. But now we'll put in the batteries in the truck next. I do have several C batteries that I bought a little while back that I had on hand, so I'm just going to put these in. They're kind of hard to push and click shut with the door on there. And there we go. We got the truck all lit up as well. Really cool. And then we'll light up the car once again. Then you can see both of the vehicles side by side with all their lights on. Awesome. Of course, Wilco and Hess both were not doing sound functions in the 1990s. All you had was just an on and off setting for the lights on the main vehicle and the secondary vehicle. But these are really cool, both of these. You can kind of get a better view at all the different lights when you turn the truck in different directions. Of course, you can kind of see some of the lights through the plastic. The plastic is a bit on the thin side, unfortunately, but for a lot of the older Hess and Wilco vehicles, it seems like that's kind of a thing where when you have certain lights on, you can kind of see it through the plastic, but not really a big deal. These are meant to be toys. I don't really think a lot of kids were going to care all that much about the lights showing through the plastic, but wow, very cool. I thought for sure I'd have some kind of an issue with, like, you know, light bulbs being out or just the general dimness, I guess, of these lights, but they all seem to be working quite well for their age, which is very cool to say. All right, next we'll go ahead and turn off all the lights here in my room, and then we'll see how bright these things can be. There we go. Wow. Very bright. Looks awesome. The LED lights that you see in newer Hess vehicles are obviously brighter than these regular lights, or these incandescent lights, I guess we'll call them. But these are still pretty darn bright, I would say, especially for a toy truck from the 1990s. Very cool. That Wilco just lights up on the side there, and it really does stand out. And even when we put the lights back on, you can see that all the different lights really stand out on both the truck and on the race car, for sure. So that's really cool to see that. I think these two definitely hold up quite well with Hess trucks that have been released in the last few years or so. Of course, you don't have sound functions on either the primary vehicle or the secondary vehicle in this case, but again, these are from 1993, and I think for the age that these are pretty cool toys. The door does not stay up, unfortunately. It just kind of flaps down. You have to kind of hold the door open, or hold it up, I guess I should say, as you're trying to put the car back in there. I am trying to get it to hold up right now, and it's just not holding up. So you have to use two hands regardless to get the car both in or out of the truck. See, it just kind of flaps shut onto the ramp. So you have to hold it up while you're also holding the ramp and the car at the same time. Kind of annoying and cumbersome. If this were a newer, like, Hess truck, the door definitely would be staying up. That really is the only, I think, like, major complaint that I have about this Wilco truck, for sure. Aside from that, the livery, I think, looks very cool. I like the turquoise with the white, especially on the racer. And the lighting, I think, is quite well done on the truck as well. You do have some I guess, somewhat fine detailing. There is seats in the cab, and you have the chrome steering wheel, and the wheels do have some pronounced spokes in them as well. And of course, you do have the rubber tires and the nice chrome details on the front grille and with the exhaust pipes as well. And it seems like you can get any of these Wilco trucks that were made from, like, I want to say the late 1980s through the early 2000s for usually between $15 and maybe upwards of $45 or $50, depending on which specific truck you're looking at, as well as the overall condition of the truck and whether or not you're getting the original box with the truck as well. But the only, I think, annoying, I guess, trait of this truck is the fact that back door is just really loose and it doesn't stay up on its own when you're trying to get the racer in or out of the back. And that really is not that big of a deal either. I think this does really hold up quite well to Hess trucks that have been released in the last 10 years or so. And yeah, those two stickers were loose on this racer, but they just stuck right back on. You could always just use like some glue or glue sticks for any loose stickers on these Hess or Wilco toys. And I do like how the racer is kind of anchored in place on the ramp. It is kind of hard to get on the ramp, as you're seeing here. It doesn't help that you have to use one hand just to hold up that door. And interesting enough is that the ramp is black instead of like a teal or a turquoise to match the teal or turquoise stripes and the accents on the truck. Because for Hess trucks, a lot of times if they have ramps in their trucks or toys, I guess we'll say, they're dark green to match the dark green stripes and colors of the trucks and the secondary vehicles that come with them. But yeah, I was definitely glad that I found this. Once again, I've never heard of the Wilco gasoline chain, nor have I ever seen or heard of the Wilco toy truck series. It was relatively short-lived compared to Hess, which has been consistently around in terms of making these toy trucks once a year since 1964. Whereas the last Wilco truck was produced around 2003, and I think at that point they were only around for maybe 20 years or so in terms of those Wilco toy trucks. But in the end, I think if you can find one of these Wilco trucks, especially this specific one here that I found for $15 for a good price, especially if you're someone who already likes collecting the Hess trucks, it is kind of a unique toy truck to get. And if you want to try to find more than one of these Wilco toy trucks, it seems like on eBay, they are frequently listed. In terms of the specific Wilco trucks that seem to be more common, it's kind of hard to tell. I've done various searches over the past couple of weeks, and it seems to be like hit or miss for some, and some there's a fair bit of listings. But I think if you can find any of the Wilco trucks, especially this one for a good price, especially if you can find it for just $15 like I did, like pretty much brand new in the box, you're getting a unique toy, I would say, for sure. So feel free to comment down below with your thoughts on the Wilco toy truck series or on this specific Wilco toy truck, and whether or not you've heard of them. I'm kind of curious to see how many people out there have heard of this gas station chain or this other series of toy trucks that are very much like the Hess toy trucks for sure. And be sure to subscribe to my channel as well. Thanks for watching.